Sorry for the delay. Was fixing my hair, so I'm good now. So I'm glad to be back. Really proud of our guys. Richmond's a very hard team to guard. Coach Mooney is along with Coach Schmidt. The two deans of this league, and they're so hard to play against. Particularly guarding them. The way they move the ball, the body movement. Got to have incredible discipline and attention to detail. And I thought our guys were terrific in both those areas. The discipline, the attention to detail, the physicality to guard them. I thought we made it very difficult. They made some tough shots in the second half, late in the clock, and we had a little bit of dips here and there. But overall, really good defensive performance. Thought we shared the ball. Thought we attacked. They were switching five, and thought we attacked that with pretty good intelligence. Trying to take away some of our threes, and I thought we did a good job of getting to action. So really good performance against a very good basketball team. And, crowd was awesome, and want to thank everybody that came out, 9,000 plus. I've said this before, if we're going to do this at a high level here, it's going to take, everybody doing their part, and that's the coaches, and staff, and I work with, I think, as good as staffers in college basketball on an everyday basis, the players, and certainly the university itself, but our community, and we got to we with them, and then they got to reciprocate, and it's got to be both ways. And I really like, and I can see student section and in the crowd, that people are getting on board, and that's what we need for this to be what it's capable of becoming. So really appreciative of the crowd. They were fantastic tonight. I thought they brought a great atmosphere, and it was a lot of fun to play coach in that game.
Look at the box, and it just everything is everyone's like the same. 14 and 6, 9 and 4, 12 and 6, 10 and 8, 16 and 5, 8 and 6. I mean, is this one of the most equal games, spread out?
Yeah, it's a great point, and what I would say on there is, like, the guy who's not equal, there's probably two, but one of them is Quentin Jones, who's 4-3-3, and he's plus 35, in that game. So much of, like, what happens, there's the visible stuff, the box score stuff, and there's, we call it, like, invisible. There's a lot of invisible plays that drive winning, and that aren't maybe quantifiable, and so, I think just the balance this team all year has been, its greatest strength. And it's obviously, like, the ability for them to actually sacrifice and do that is what makes it special. It's not that, a lot of teams could have 8 or 9 good players. There's talent every gym in this league, and all over the country. It's the ability for them to put the team above themselves and to put team success over individual success and sacrifice minutes and shots and those things for the good of the collective that makes them special. But the balance, I think, today, and you really go most of the year, has just been, the guys are touching the game in so many ways, and different guys, different nights, but they all pull together, support each other, and are about the right stuff.
It's one thing to balance points, but also balanced rebounds.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we got to come down and get him. I thought, Dion was awesome on the offensive glass. He was really good on the offensive glass against Fordham. He just didn't get him. Like, he didn't get rewarded for how hard he went. He had balls glance off his hands, or just balls bounced the wrong way. But he got, we got 12 offensive rebounds tonight, on 31 misses. That's pretty good, pretty good deal of 34 misses, I guess. So we were over, like 36% or something like that, so that's pretty good. And I thought, overall that the rebounding down, our guards coming down, Robbie doesn't gobble them up. He got 6 tonight, but he does box out. And I think that allows those guards to come down. We got big guards, then come down and rebound. And everybody wants to rebound so they can start the break. So there's a little bit of self-interest there to go down, rebound, so they can push the ball and get out in transition.
In a similar vein to that, you've got guys like Eshawn had, 8, 6, and 5 assists. Do you have a lot? Have you found you had different guys on different nights doing things outside of their specialties, so to speak? That really impact things that maybe you didn't even expect that they might do going into the season?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, like, Brady's had like a 4 or 5 assist night. Now Eshawn's had a 4 and now a 5, and not like they're like unbelievable playmakers. A lot of theirs is just making the right play, though, the one more pass, the pitch to, the play in transition, the one more. Like Ish had a couple great one mores where he had maybe a shot and made the next pass to Brady, and there was just a bunch of plays like that. And but yeah, I think that part's been really nice, is that there's a balance of scoring, there's a balance of rebounding, there's a balance of assists. It's not one guy getting 12 assists and the rest of the team combining for 4, or one guy getting 12 rebounds, the rest of the team everybody getting 2 or 3. There's balance up and down the roster in every area. We have enough playmaking. I think where guys are getting better at is like understanding their function inside of what we do, and they're not, so the assists for Ish are going to be different than the assists for Kellen or Q. The assists for Robbie are different than they are for Paul, but they're all assists, and they're all trying to play make inside of, what they're capable of doing. And you see guys have games where, like, I didn't think, like, Ish had a couple drives today, but, and you're seeing him get more comfortable. Brady's gotten way more comfortable at driving closeouts and using their shooting leverage to catch and rip and attack closeouts, because teams close them so hard. And now they're able to get the paint, and now they're getting better at kind of playing off 2 and making the right play. And so I've been impressed with, with both of their growth. And I think, like you said, you have a lot of guys coming down and rebounding it. I mean, Dion's our leading rebounder, and he's 6'3", and he just, so. But Amari and KT are hot on his trail, and our 6'10" guy is, in the middle of the pack on our team in rebounding. So are just kind of it's a unique team in a lot of ways, but certainly the ability to touch the game in all the facets the collective is very, very good.
Considering that you guys have had a lot of big leads early, how tough is the second half, especially defensively, for you guys?
Yeah, I think 2 things. I think today there was a stretch where we didn't play well in the second half. On either end, we turned it over and gave them some transition where we had some mistakes. And then 2, I would say, like, in the second half, when you're down by 30, the basket gets bigger. I mean, there's not a lot of pressure. Shots tend to go in when you're down 30. You just you're relaxed and ball goes in for the opponent. But I would say too, like, you're never like I think we've discussed this, but like, you're never playing great is not like you don't just arrive at it. It's not like a static thing. Like, once you're good, like we've been really good defensively last 2 games. We could be terrible defensively against Duquesne if we don't bring the, there's not like being at your best is elusive. And what you're trying to do is you have an identity that you have on offense, an identity you have on defense. And the goal is to play that identity for as many possessions as possible, for as many of the 35 to 40 games you play as possible. Knowing that in every game, really, there's going to be ebbs and flows and dips in how well you play and how intense you are, how focused somebody is, and certainly the scoreboard can interfere with that. But it's not a static thing where, like, all right, we're a great defensive team. We're only a great defensive team. We keep doing the things we're doing. And I thought we got a little loose defensively, had a couple bonehead turnovers. Rob, Amari missed 2 free throw box outs, 3, I think, maybe the second half. So there's things like you go back and again, not that you accept them, but you also just understand that, they're human beings, and, you're not, no team, I don't care if it's the Oklahoma City Thunder or whomever, any team in the NBA, any team in the world is not at their best perpetually. It is ebbs and flows inside of games. It ebbs and flows inside of a season. I tell them all the time, wins at your back, wins at your face. It changes throughout the year. And wins at your back, you have great humility about it, and you try to keep it in context and within reason. Wins at your face, you got to be resilient and tough and fight through it and try to put the win back at your back. But it changes. It's very fluid. Nothing is static. Nothing is just because something is doesn't mean it was. In our game, I thought the second half has been a combination, some of those 2 things where maybe a little bit of guys we get a little loose at times, and then I think also the opponents relax because it's a lot easier to make a shot with a 30-point. You're down 30 than it is in a tight game.
It's only you've only played 5 conference games, but can Kellen become like an all-conference kind of guy coming off the bench?
I think so. I mean, I think he's, his numbers would indicate such. I think in conference play, I think he's our 2nd leading scorer, right, in the 5 games, and maybe our, led us 3 times, and I think he's right there with Robbie as our 2nd leading scorer, and he's maybe our 2nd leading rebounder, and he's got a great assist turnover ratio, and yeah, I mean, he's got the tools to be an all-league guy. There's no question. I mean, he just, he just is a force of nature on the game. I mean, they were, he got 16 and 5 today, and they were doing everything they could to build walls and keep him out of the lane. And I mean, he still just finds way down in transition on the glass, cutting. He's just he's got a chance to be an all-league player. I think if you have team success, I've seen it, I've had it happen, and that's not going to happen because this league has too many, it's just wired different. But, you look at like our team at Indiana State, like in 23-24, and it happened a couple times at LMU, like all 5 starters were all league. And teams that I've been a part of that are good, there's a balance where all 5 starters should be. And now Kellen's has not been a starter, but, I think he's got a chance to be an all-league guy because if you have team success, all the individual stuff is usually downstream of that, right? Like if you have team success, then all the individual accolades and recognition and that's the buy-in, is sacrifice for the team, and then know the payoff is going to be on the back end. And I think, if it ended today and it doesn't, I would be shocked and very, very disappointed if he wasn't an all-league guy as of January 17th. Now, a long way to go, a lot of water under the bridge, but I'd be grossly disappointed. He's probably playing as high a level as anybody. You look at his minutes and what he's doing production-wise. Not many guys in the league are doing, 18 minutes today, 16 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals. And some of that's just been because we've been in blowouts or games where we've had a big advantage where, he's maybe not getting, those last 5-minute kick that he would, him and Robbie too, both those guys.
Can he play? How many more minutes can he play?
Probably in the way we play, like I was going to leave him in late. He wanted to come out, so he told me, get me. So with 2.5, 3 minutes to go, I was going to leave him when I put in Jackson Cam, I guess, and he knew he knows when he hits his limit. So he'll let me know. Could he play 30 minutes a night? No. Can he probably get in the 20s, 24, 25? For sure. I think so. And I think that's probably the balance is, how do we get him into the low 20s? And I'm working on that. And some of that's just the way the games have gone. Some of that is who is he in there with? There's lineups we could play that would have very little shooting out there or maybe not enough playmaking or whatever the case may be. So some of it's just, who he's out there with and then also keeping in mind that, we want to keep him in most of our guys in about a 6-minute, window, and that's about where he can go 6-7 minutes at a time and then rest him.
Talk about the elusiveness of the things that you do to win. You guys are 17-1.
Yep.
Have you guys done a good job of capturing that elusiveness that you?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, certainly we're in a great rhythm. I think to come home and to win 2 games. I don't know what we win by. We won by 22. Fordham. Is that right? 22 and 25 today, and we have 3 20-plus point wins in the league. I mean, it's we're in a really good rhythm. But I think, like I told them, I want them to enjoy. I think obviously, hopefully, they'll be ranked on Monday, and that's a great accomplishment, and that's something significant for the institution and the program, and that they should really take pride in. And on the flip side, understand that the only poll that really matters is the last one, right? So I mean, it's not relevant, except for the last poll. The only that but it's relevant in the sense of I don't want them to not enjoy that, but then also, it's a great thing. You look at it, and I think for this group, what I told them is that only poll that matters is the last one, and. I really believe with this team, that's a great accomplishment. I think our best moments are all ahead of us as a group. Our best moments are in front of us, not behind us. Getting nationally ranked, being 17-1, all that stuff's great. This group's best moments are ahead and not behind us. And we just got to keep working, keep getting better. I have no idea where we are in the pantheon of the A10, if we're at the top or the middle or whatever. I just know that if we're the best team, the only way we're going to stay there is to keep getting better. And if we're not the best team, the only way we're going to catch the teams ahead of us is to go get better. And so that Kaizen, that obsession with improvement, continuing to be relentless about pursuing progress, we got to keep that mentality. That'll allow us to ride out. There's going to be bumps in the road. I mean, it's not going to be like this. And I am so appreciative of where things are right now, but I don't think that it's just going to be like a knife through butter all year. I know there's hard stuff coming, and we got 2 big road games this week at Duquesne. That place will be, I'm sure, ready to go. And then I haven't had the pleasure of going to Olean, but I've heard great things, so I'm excited to get down there and see if as people say it's a great spot. So I'm excited to get to Olean, but we have 2 really hard road games against 2 teams that are going to be really hungry to beat us, and that's that'll be a new, like the piece of, if we're ranked and we should be on Monday, that presents a different competitive challenge for our guys. We go on the road, and that's how you got to look at it. It's a great challenge. It's a privilege, but it's a challenge, and we'll have our hands full. We'll be in some madhouses this week on the road, and then you come back at GW Dayton. So it just keeps going. The only poll that matters is the last one. So we'll just got to keep working to get better.
You didn't know that 5-0 would put you at the top of the standings?
Well, I knew at the top of the standings. I don't know where we are, like how that compares to, I don't know if we're the best team or where we are. But I do know 5-0 has us up there. But I think there's 2 other teams that are 5-0. So, it's we just got to keep getting better. And that's this group, much like the teams I've had, before that have been really good, has really done a good job of like the ability to take, a one-day prep and do what we did and get ready for Richmond. They're so hard to guard and apply that. I off the top of my head, I don't remember giving up one back cut all night. Against a Princeton, that's incredibly difficult. You got to change how you guard, your positioning. These guys are so dialed into game plan and what they got to do to play well and prepare well and, and compete well. It's been super impressive. But as we said, just like with playing, it's not static. It's always resets to 0, and we got to be ready and have a great prep day tomorrow, neck up day, and then have a great prep day, Monday at Duquesne, and then try to do everything we can to stack days and put on the court, on Tuesday night against a team that's a good team and is going to be super turned up, and that crowd will be turned up for us coming in there.
Anything else from Coach Schertz?
Trey, it looked like he was taking a lot of shots before the game. Was it a tough
Yeah.
decision, or did he have to convince you? Because he was out there on the court a lot.
Yeah, I wanted him to go through. It really was a game time thing because we, our shoot arounds are walkthrough, so we didn't know. He practiced yesterday, but he practiced Tuesday. It was really how he felt, and it was more of like what the percentage was. We weren't going to put him out like Wednesday. We didn't think the percentage was high enough to play him to risk it. We're not going to put anybody. It wasn't like there's any long-term risk. It was just could he move well enough to play? And I thought. Today he felt good enough. He really wanted to challenge it. He came to me and said, he's like, I promise you I can go. And so, ultimately with something like that, where it's a bruise, that's like player discretion. The thing with Trey, like I said, is, he loves to play. So like, I never worry about that kid. Like I've coached guys that, man, they would love to sit out. Trey is not a guy who ever wants to sit out. And on good teams, that's guys don't miss, unless they absolutely have to. Good teams, everybody wants to play. And so I was glad to have him back out there. And I thought second half he gave us a real big lift there, made 3 threes and got his rhythm back. I thought his defense was great too in the second half. He really played very good basketball. He struggled half 1, but half 2 he was awesome for us. All right. Thank you all.